Hello. Today I want to briefly clarify my intentions. Why I make these videos, why I make them the way I do, and what you can and cannot expect from me. Not because I believe misunderstandings can be avoided. They can't. Anyone who creates something knows that the work will inevitably be interpreted in ways they never imagined or intended. Every person, of course, brings their own perspective and experience and state of mind to the table. That's natural, and in many ways that's a good thing. But still, I want to make an effort to be as clear as possible, to make it as clear as possible where I come from. I'm aware that many people who randomly come across any of my videos will probably never see this explanation. Most viewers don't usually watch multiple videos from the same channel, especially when the topics vary. So maybe this is pointless. Maybe I'm overthinking the whole thing, which I definitely tend to do. I'm very much the overthinking and worrying and solicitous type. But it matters to me, so I'm doing it anyway. I probably should have started with this one. This should have probably been my first video. But hey, what do you know? Nobody is perfect. So let's get the most obvious thing out of the way first. Why do I dress like that? And why do I have this historical look going? Well, that's very easy to answer. Because I love history. I love the beauty of historical objects. And I love historical fashion. Very much so. Especially, but not exclusively, of the 19th century and the Romantic period. But I guess I will not dress like that in all of my videos, because there are different kinds of videos that I want to make with different subject matters. And this fancy kind of dress is not appropriate for all of them, I think. Now, when it comes to the presentation of my videos, I've made a very deliberate choice. I have neither the interest nor the patience to engage with all the modern technical tools like editing software and design platforms and AI tools and everything else that's more or less expected these days. I am quite honest here. I don't want to spend countless hours learning these systems and then spending even more time producing highly polished videos filled with visually appealing maybe, but ultimately, in my view, quite unnecessary effects and graphics and that kind of thing. I'm not trying to wow anybody here. This isn't about putting on a show or chasing clicks or optimizing for visual appeal. I am not interested in clickbait, and I don't want to compete with other creators. I don't want to make use of any tools just because I feel like I have to, because it is expected these days, because I feel like I have to keep up with what others are doing. I don't want to compare myself. More importantly, I don't want to speak in a detached, impersonal way to you. I don't want to be a mere presenter or an entertainer. I don't want anything artificial between me and the viewer. What matters to me is directness, speaking from the heart, as a real imperfect being. No amount of visual polish can replace this emotional immediacy that I'm talking of. So on the one hand, I definitely lack the patience for these tools, and on the other, I definitely prefer to create something personal and honest rather than something generic and overly produced. I deeply trust that the people who resonate with this what I'm doing here, will not need flashy visuals to engage with what I am offering them. I have trust in the intelligence, the taste, the refinement and discernment of my viewers. At least those who actually stay around and who really want to invest something, invest their time, their attention and their participation. And finally, there are personal limitations. Limitations that I have to deal with constantly and that prevent me from doing more or better videos, at least at the moment. Meaning physical and mental limitations, my physical and mental health, and my most of the time very low energy levels, I'm afraid. Most of the time I just don't feel well enough to be in any way creative or to do anything really. Next, I want to talk about the content and my intentions. At its core, this channel is about self-expression, about my need for self-expression and my wish to share my thoughts and my feelings, my authentic self, my unaltered, uncensored being. This is the common thread that runs through all of my videos. Not because I think that I am particularly important, but because I feel a deep need to express what has remained unexpressed for much of my life. That's the way I feel it. And in my videos, I talk about things that matter to me, be it books or films or art, philosophy, the modern world, human nature, love, aesthetics, and whatever else moves me. But I don't want to lecture. I don't want to lecture about certain topics, but rather give them a very personal touch. I want to speak about why these things matter to me, why they matter to me, and how I experience them, what they invoke in me, what they mean to me. I am not trying to entertain or to impress or reach as many people as possible. What I hope for instead is something much more specific. It's to reach people who feel and think in a similar way, who recognize something of themselves in what I have to say, and who are interested in a more meaningful kind of exchange. Now, ideally, I would like to build a small but genuine community with people who support and inspire and enrich each other. But even if that never happens, even if no one watches or no one understands what I'm talking about here, I would still do it. I would still make these videos, because these videos are also a form of self-exploration. They are a kind of psychological diary in a way. A space where I confront myself, my thoughts, my struggles, my inner conflicts. I deliberately allow myself to be vulnerable here, to show something real, even if it's uncomfortable. So it's, in a way, it's a form of therapy. And then there is also this admittedly very lofty and idealistic goal I pursue. I talk about this concept in more detail in other videos. So if you want to know more about it, I refer you to my other videos. Just to give you a short description. At its core, it's about the re-enchantment of life and to consciously contribute to create the kind of world we want to live in. Not simply accepting reality as something fixed, but recognizing that we have the capacity to participate in shaping it. It's about staying true to one's ideals, to dare to dream, dare to be different, and not to just accept the world as it is, but to use our own dormant, imaginative, creative faculties and actively work on transforming the reality we are faced with, transforming it into something better, something worthwhile, a beautiful piece of art, a place where we would actually, genuinely want to live. We are, in many ways, products of our environment and of our existential circumstances. But we don't have to remain that way. We can become more self-determined, conscious creators of our own reality. We do have the ability. All we need is the will to do so. I mean, if nobody sees and or understands my videos, then of course this great ambition of mine will have come to naught, I guess. But then at least I can say that I have tried. I have tried in my personal, unique way and on my own terms. So, to reiterate, I use this format, this platform, this space to express myself and to show the real me, honestly and directly. Because I feel like I can't really show and live the real me in my everyday life. And I want to talk about topics that are important to me, and I want to talk about why they are important to me, and I want to convey my feelings and not just lecture about something. I want to create something personal and intimate, not something impersonal and showy. And if nothing else, this is kind of a therapeutic process that maybe has only value to me, for myself, but regardless of whether anyone is watching or not, I will continue. And then, as I said, this whole thing can also be seen as part of my grand ultimate endeavor, my ambition to romanticize life, my life as well as life as such, in any way possible. And finally, ideally, I would also like to connect with others, with like-minded people, and very ideally create a small community of like-minded souls who assist and support and inspire each other. So it's up to you, my dear viewer, whether this is going to become a reality or not. In any case, I say thank you for listening, and I guess I'll see you next time. Until then, good night out there, whoever, whatever, and wherever you may be. Bye bye.